Hello, this is Business Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV news studios in Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up, Nigeria's central bank upgrades its E-NAIRA to steer the country away from crypto. Economic Community of West African States says Nigeria, alongside 10 other countries, have very serious debt problems. Toyota to suspend operations at more production lines at its factories in Japan. Oil rose after plunging nearly 10% in the last two sessions. Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us here at Business Stories we are tracking on this hour. I'm Michael Nat. Nigeria's central bank has upgraded its E-NAIRA to steer the country away from crypto, even after a UN report stated that restrictions on digital currencies are stifling the nation's fintech sector. The Central Bank of Nigeria is moving ahead with plans to upgrade the country's central bank digital currency to be used on a wider range of goods and services. It is also maintaining harsh crypto restrictions that cripple the country's fintech sector. As representatives announced, there is going to be an upgrade on the E-NAIRA Speed Wallet app that will allow people to do transactions such as paying for DSTV, electric bills, or even paying for flight tickets. The same representative said the upgrade was launched to make onboarding easier, touting its wallet that had no charges and was faster than internet banking. They added that in the future, the E-NAIRA will be the only way to receive financial assistance from the government, stressing the advantages of early adoption. Restrictions on crypto trading in the country tightened after the launch of the E-NAIRA in October 2021. The CBN banned banks from servicing crypto exchanges in February of the same year, but real enforcement happened in November 2021 when the CBN ordered. Now, the group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, EMEFIELE'S, on Tuesday, finally appeared before the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on the State of Refineries in Nigeria. However, Kiri could not answer some of the critical questions posed to him by members of the committee, urging the lawmakers to allow him to come back with documents containing the details. The details sought by the lawmakers include the actual cost of rehabilitating the refineries, especially the Port Harcourt Refinery Company. This just as the committee and the GMD are yet to disclose the quantity of crude being taken from Nigeria and the volume of petroleum products being delivered to the country on a daily basis under the direct sale, direct purchase or oil swap deal with firms. In his presentation, Kiri said, and I quote, "Needless is to say that the refineries were essentially not properly managed over time, not just today, but in the last 20 to 25 years. The turnaround maintenance processes were clearly mismanaged over time. We clearly admit that those turnaround maintenance was not properly done in the past, leading to where we are today." End of quote. Nigeria has been named in a new report alongside 10 other countries within the Economic Community of West African States as having very serious debt problems. The report, titled Debt Management, Restricting and Sustainability in ECOWAS, was recently launched at the Debt Management's office in Abuja. The new report, published by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the Open Society Initiative for West Africa, noted that the countries are currently in debt distress based on debt sustainability analysis. According to the report, a financial crisis in Nigeria can threaten other countries in the ECOWAS region. The 10 other countries are Benin, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Cape Verde, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Niger, Senegal, and Togo. The House of Representatives and the airline operators of Nigeria on Monday agreed that aviation fuel would be supplied to the airlines at 480 naira per litre for at least 3 months. At a meeting convened by the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, It was agreed that 6 million litres of aviation fuel would be made available at the rate of 480 naira per litre to the operators through the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The meeting had in attendance the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, EMEFIELE, the CBN Governor Godwin EMEFIELE, Vice President of the AON, Allen Onyema, and the other stakeholders. Airlines had planned to suspend flight operations from last Monday till further notice over the cost of fuel, which they said cost 700 naira per litre. The plan was later suspended after intervention from the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, and other stakeholders. Earlier on iBrandTV's Business Breakfast, an aviation expert shared his thoughts on this development.
The issue of petroleum products, full deregulation is the final solution to our problems. Because the issue of this bridging claim is all about you want to sell petrol at 165 in Lagos, and you also want to sell at 165 in Maiduguri. Whereas the cost of transporting from Lagos to maybe depots in Southwest, especially Lagos, Ogun, and the rest, can still enable you to sell at 165. But as far as you move up to the Ekiti, Ondo, up north, the price cannot be the same unless otherwise that product is being loaded in either Maiduguri depot, Kano depot, or the rest. But the products are not available there. So once the system is not deregulated, so the Nnpc, they call something Petroleum Equalization Fund Management Board. Those are the people in charge of paying certain amount of money to the marketers who transport the product from this Lagos to wherever they are taking it to. So, but in a situation where it's fully deregulated, there's not going to be something like that. So you would now sell at your own price. It's like somebody bringing cow from Maiduguri to Lagos now. It's going to sell at its own price. It's not going to be the same price in Maiduguri as much as... so we want to rely on government for everything. And it's like we are still postponing the evil days.
Now, the Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural Organization AFENIFERE has berated Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin EMEFIELE, over his involvement in partisan politics and rushed to court to seek a restraining order. National Publicity Secretary of the group, Jara Ajayi, said the action of EMEFIELE and the government is servicing demonstrated how low Nigeria has sunk into terms of sanctity and decency. Ajayi said, and I quote, "While every adult Nigerian has a right to aspire and indeed contest for any position, there are some basic virtues expected from such aspirants beyond satisfying the legal requirements." AFENIFERE claimed that the economy suffered an unprecedented deficit under the CBN governor. To help us analyze the economic implication of EMEFIELE'S presidential ambition, we have right here, via a phone call, GBOLAHAN OLOJEDE, a business analyst. Thank you very much, GBOLAHAN, for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
the network is very faint.
Okay, and I think it's fair right now. Okay, we can go ahead.
I can hear you.
All right. Now,
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, very clearly, yeah. All right, here we go. As the CBN governor, Godwin EMEFIELE, occupies a sensitive position in the economic sphere of the nation, he has been under intense pressure to resign since he indicated political interest. Now, what is the economic implication of EMEFIELE'S political move?
Okay. The CBN governor role is a very peculiar one. Peculiar in the sense that he cannot afford to be partisan. It's not a politician kind of role. It's meant to be neutral. And that is because economic policies, monetary policy, especially for which he has primary responsibility for, is not meant to be a partisan thing. So when you have a CBN governor who becomes partisan, it will affect the independence of the CBN and by extension the quality of monetary policy that we have in the nation. If you remember vividly, in the days of Trump, as tough and as heady as Trump was, the chairman of the Reserve Bank in America does not bend to what Trump says. Consistently, Trump wanted that man to change the interest rate. He did not budge because he believed that what he was doing at that point in time was the right thing to do. That is the level of independence that is expected of a CBN governor. So when we have a CBN governor who becomes partisan, people begin to wonder whether his position will affect exchange rate, whether his position will affect interest rate, whether his position will affect the various developmental intervention for which Nigerian CBN particularly has been involved. Don't forget, the CBN governor in Nigeria has been involved in intervention in agriculture, in aviation, in healthcare, several intervention programs. So the question is, will he be neutral if he's partisan? Can a partisan person be neutral?
All right. Now, since it's become apparent that Emefiele is going on with his political ambition, what possible ways can this impending economic predicament, or if you like, dilemma, be averted?
Sorry, I didn't hear that clearly. Can you just
I mean, Emefiele has insisted on going into politics, for the presidency. Okay. Now, and there are indications that his desire to go into politics definitely will have some negative effects on the economy. The question now is, what possible ways can this impending economic predicament be averted?
Well,
since we can't stop him from going into politics.
You can stop him. He's employed. He's an employee. Number one, he has a board that he reports to, so the board has a supervisory role on him. He was appointed by the president, and the law also states clearly reasons and manners in which he could be removed from office. So if you first of all start from an engagement situation in which either his board or the employer or the president call him and have an engagement with him on what is going on. And if he insisted, then the procedure should be kicked in. The Financial Reporting Council, everybody should kick in. And let's commence a removal process from that role so that he can concentrate. The law setting up the CBN was very specific that role, you cannot do any other thing. You must commit your whole self into the role. How can you contest for presidency and commit yourself into that same role? How can you be running as an aspirant? How can you be an aspirant and be committed to that role? No. And on the basis of that, it will be as if he has already violated the fundamental law, a fundamental rule, an expectation, and it could be taken up based on that expectation and the hard choice. He has to make the hard choice.
Now, this scenario is not peculiar to Nigeria. I mean, come to think of it, Emefiele is not alone in this political move. The current Prime Minister of Italy, Mario Draghi, who was governor of the Bank of Italy from 2006 to 2011, did the same thing without any economic consequences. Why is Nigeria's case different?
Okay. The level of insulation that is available in Nigeria is the real issue here. So when the CBN governor becomes partisan in Nigeria, is it the same as a CBN governor in Italy who got partisan? might not necessarily be the same. And I'll give you a very good example.
Okay.
There are situations in which people, in fact, the vice president of Trump at some point disagree with Trump and made it public on a particular issue in which he disagreed. In Nigeria, do you get to see that? So there's a level of maturity that you get to where it is possible for you to separate, to create a China wall, a Chinese wall in between roles. But in Nigeria, you do not have that kind of Chinese wall. It becomes literally impossible for you to be partisan on one side and be neutral on the other side.
No.
So the level of maturity is different.
Okay. Okay. Why is the CBN governor going into partisan politics without recourse to provisions of relevant laws? For instance, the CBN Act, which emphasizes the independence of the Apex Bank. Now, despite all this, he still insists on going for the presidency. Yeah. Is there nothing the federal government can do to stop him?
Let's start by clearly saying that there's nothing in that as a Nigerian, he can aspire to the highest of it.
All right.
And he is qualified to do so. So it's within his right. But we now have to situate his right within the context of his current role. And that is where the problem starts to creep in. So while he may aspire, and nobody can take that away from him, we now have to view that his aspiration within the context of his current role. And come to think of it, he has been CBN governor for about 8 years already. What stops him from just saying, okay, 8 years is a good time to have been at the Apex Bank. Let me just step aside and let somebody else do it while I go for this other aspiration that I'm so much that filled my heart, the passion to unleash myself onto a higher role. Let me go and face that. But rather, he wanted to have his cake and eat it at the same time. And this is where the problem is beginning to come in. Even today, I mean, we've read that the president finally has asked ministers that want to contest to go and resign before May 16. Everybody go and get out of this place. So if ministers who afford to be partisan are being told to go and resign, how much more the CBN governor, who is the custodian of our electoral materials?
Okay, now from the look of things, as I want to seek your own personal opinion, what is your own suggestion as the way to get around this?
Okay. My opinion is that, number one, I like the fact that the court has stepped into a particular space today. The appeal court has made a determination in respect of section 84, 84.2 or 84.12, the contentious part in the act, which has said, okay, you can stay on till 30 days to the election. That is on one side. On the other side, the way forward, in my opinion, is that his principal is the president, should have an engagement with him and read the same kind of riot act that he has read to the ministers today, also to him. So look, mister, you are free, you are in Nigeria, you are competent, go and do your contest. But this other role that you are holding, please resign from that role. The other option is the supervision at the board level. He has a board. So the board will also call him and engage with him and advise him accordingly. Those are the way I see him do it. If he insists on going forward, then they will take him to court. Obviously, there will be so many interested parties who will take him to court. He will be busy in the court. He won't even be able to have time for the primaries.
And then what happens to the presidential nomination form that he's purchased?
Well, I guess that can be settled. There could be a soft landing for that at the party level. That is the least of the problem. If he deserves a refund, they can talk about it at the level of the party and decide to do a refund. And if it is not refundable, 100 million, we were told he was bought by farmers. Look at that contradiction. This was a man whose part of his critical intervention was to give
Thank you so much, Ms. Olojede.
The pleasure is mine.
All right. Now, the rest of the news. With gas becoming the toast of the energy transition agenda, President Muhammadu Buhari and the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Nnpc SYLVA, are lobbying other West African governments to allow a Nigerian head the multi-billion-dollar West Africa gas pipeline project, Nigeria being a major gas nation itself. The federal government's desire was strongly canvassed on Tuesday at the meeting of the Committee of Ministers, WAGP, held in Abuja. Speaking at the event attended by the Ministers of Energy of Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, a representative of the Group Managing Director of Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, ECOWAS Commissioner for Energy and Mines, the Director General of WAGPA, among others. SYLVA referred the delegates to Section 4, Subsection 2 of Article 4 of the WAGPA Treaty to resolve the issue of the appointment of the Director General for members. The total net credit by the Nigerian banking sector to the government rose by 2.2 trillion naira in the first quarter ended March 2022 to 16.32 trillion naira. Figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria's data on money and credit statistics have shown. According to the data, the net credit to the government rose from 14.12 trillion naira as of the end of January 2022 to 14.72 trillion naira as of the end of February 2022. The figure showed that this was an increase from the first quarter figure of 2021. It showed that the net credit to the government rose from 12.09 trillion naira, 12.59 trillion naira, and 12.07 trillion naira in January, February, and March 2021, respectively. Now, still to come, dollar clings to 20-year high ahead of U.S. inflation data. Details of these and more after this break. Stay with us.